Why, hello there, my fellow plague survivors. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to The Last Plague Blight, Episode 2, Picturesque Peninsula. The blight continues to spread. It's not clear where the blight came from or how it spread so quickly. Your village, Fool's Hope, is a wasteland, and it doesn't look like any parts of civilization in the barony of Barrow have fared any better. You need to figure out some way to minimize or eliminate its effects if you have any hope of surviving in the long run. Find clues about potential anti-blight serums. I'm going to have you guys decide on what you want me to do. So, I can work towards a journal task. I can start building the shelter. I can work on improving food or medicine supply. I can work on weapons or tool crafting. I can go exploring or viewer suggestions. What you all think? I think Team Shelter is coming in hot. All right. So, I'm going to call this one early, just given the support for it. Build a shelter. So the first thing I want to do is to cut all these trees down that are in the way, because I don't want to start building a shelter and have these large trees dump on me. That would be bad. And this is going to be very tiring, but, like, it needs to be done. Does shelter apply to building something at a, for firewood? Yes. That would be shelter too. Like, to store firewood somewhere safer. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about shelter design. Generally speaking, shelter is for rain. That would be the simplest explanation. There are different tiers of shelters. There is, like, stick shelters that you upgrade with mud. There are stone shelters. There is wood paneled flooring. There is clay roof and leaf roof. For the sake of this marathon, I'm going to build efficiently. Meaning that I'm going to build what I would consider kind of the bare minimum, so to speak, in order to get the job done, rather than to build something expansive and fancy and very time-consuming, because I don't want to spend all my time just, like, building shelters. I don't think that showcases the game. Oh, hello. You are way up in my stuff. Oogie boogie doogie! Yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah, I'm going to be building what I would consider, like, an efficiency shelter. Sort of the bare minimum to get the job done. With that said, you can definitely go hog wild in this game and build expansive and lovely, you know, shelters for yourself. It's just not something I'm going to be doing because it's really out of scope with this series. So any of the materials that I'm grabbing, I'm just setting aside in stockpiles. Let's drink some more water. And I'm full of water. My food's a little low, but I'm not too worried about that. I literally have a clay deposit right here in my starting area. That's, clay, one deposit doesn't get you very far. You need to hit, like, 10 deposits to really get a significant amount of clay, but still, it's kind of nice. So before I fell another tree, I'm just trying to pick up the area. Oh, there we go. I won't have space for that. You made round yurt style buildings with a young tree in the center. There's a bunch of different style of buildings. I'm going to be building something like maybe a little weird, but it's a little weird for a reason, I guess. Wow, these stags are just, or does are just like way up in my stuff. Just no privacy here. None at all. Let's eat some pine cones. I have 5 of them. So I'll get the pine nuts. So the pine nuts, it used to be like 2 patches ago that like pine cones were never contaminated, but now they can become contaminated, but even still, they're a pretty good source. You can chop up stumps. There is a small reason to keep at least 1 stump near your camp, but the rest of the stumps can go. Now, the other worry that I have is, in cutting all these trees down, it's going to wear out my axe. And, at some point, I'm worried, like, if I overdo it, you know, I don't want to, like, ruin my axe. So what I might end up doing is leaving the felled tree here until I need the firewood. I just wanted to drop the trees now so that, they can't possibly pose a threat to my shelter. But I'm not going to use... I did cut up the first tree, but I'm not going to cut up the others. And here's an indication, like, these pine branches fell in the water. So yeah, things do get wet when they're in the water, of course. As one might expect. I'm cutting down all these trees. I'm getting lots of good building materials for later on. Dennis Keith and Amri and Mahai Goku, thank you for the resubs. Now, I kind of like the idea of like being on the cabin on the edge of the water. So that's where I'm hoping to build. Oh, I still have another pine cone on me, don't I? Oops, I didn't mean to chop up that tree. The location does look nice, I know. There's also another advantage of this, being on a peninsula, which is predators aren't gonna swim to me. So it means that I'm gonna be a little bit more protected because on 3 sides I have water. So I don't have to worry about like, you know, apex predators coming. Which is to say, it might not be all that unreasonable to like wall up the entryway or to fence off the entryway to keep me protected from encroaching predators to keep them away from my camp. But that's a long goal. Can you build bridges? No. Well, not really. Sort of. You can terraform. You can move dirt around. So with a shovel and with like enough time and effort, I could build a land bridge. Sort of. But like, I wouldn't advise it because it's going to take you forever. Unless it's absolutely necessary. Now, with that said, you can build a raft. So I could easily have a raft to just ferry across the water. That you can do, no problem. And it's actually not that expensive either. And the other thing I'm making sure to do while I am cutting down all these trees is to keep my water and food up so that I'm not exhausted or hungry or any of that jazz. Now, I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the game, but I don't want to get into spoilers. So if you have questions about things that I have not interacted with yet, I'm not going to answer until it becomes relevant. So I don't want to talk about like late game texts or anything like that because it would spoil the game or any of the like recipes you unlock, any of that stuff. So feel free to ask your questions, but I'm certainly not going to necessarily answer them all. Alright, this fire is going out in about an hour and a half. I still have time. Is there an objective? Yes. That I can answer. There is an objective. I've already kind of read it off, which is end the Blight. So, we have... I can leave the, like, small tree. That's not going to pose any threat. So we have just a few large trees left. And the reason I've been collecting, like, the tree debris between is so that while I collect the tree debris, my stamina can regenerate. Some of these sticks might float away. I'm fine with it. It's actually kind of funny when you put things in, like, a river. They'll just, like, completely float away from you. I might actually collect those sticks, because they're just going to sit there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my metal tools so that I don't get them rusty. And, yes. Rust is a thing. Ooh, hi, dear. Rust is a thing, and you want to avoid getting rusty, if at all possible, because it ruins your tools. And, maintaining... I don't have the materials or anything to maintain steel tools right now, so, like, I don't want to ruin them. Hence, dropping them on the floor here. Or on the forest floor, I should say. The direction, or where you drop the tree influences the drop? I don't think so, but I can experiment with that. I actually don't even know. So the next tree, I'll try to cut and have it drop on the peninsula, but we'll see if that's a thing or not. When it rains while you have steel tools, does it rust them? Yes. So, it doesn't look like it influences the direction. I tried to cut it that way, it went a totally different way. Not a big deal. Most of the time, you're not going to be living on a peninsula. This is just a unique opportunity with the map terrain that I procedurally generated to live somewhere cool like this, but my, the playthrough I played learning this game, I definitely didn't have a peninsula. Other useful ones is like river crossroads, where there's a land bridge. So that would be like here would be a river land bridge crossroad. Those are nice to live on. Or here. Or here. Because it's easy to find your way back when you are at the intersection of two distinct geographies. That's essentially what I'm trying to press is, like, if you are with the realistic map mode and you're not a great navigator, like myself, I suck at navigating, living somewhere with a distinct geography rather than just, like, a random spot in the woods. Random spots in the woods are going to be very difficult to find twice. Whereas, like, this peninsula is not hard to find because, you know, if we take a look, I have this road running just north of my home, and then if I run into this river, there's also navigation cairns that you can set up. So for the cost of 5 stone, you can set up like little navigation markers, which are also pretty handy, and I can demonstrate them later on. Let's check the traps, though. Oh, I am completely full of pine branches. I'm going to have to start another stockpile. So the stockpiles do have, like, finite storage. So, like, sticks can go up to, I think, 120 or something like that. And then once you're at 120, you have to start a new stockpile. Alright, traps. What you got? That one's empty. That one's empty. Alright. I'm a bad hunter and a bad trapper, but I'm really good at cutting down trees. That I excel at. Go that way. That way. I think I pushed it. Now this might not be the most entertaining start because I'm just like cutting down a whole bunch of trees on a peninsula, but I will tell you, it's going to save me a lot of time in the long run with all of the fire materials that I now have available to me. This is going to be real easy to start a fire and keep a fire going with all this timber. So, just one more big tree. And then I'll probably cut down this one too. I might need to actually chop up the smaller trees, because I probably want to build, like, right here. No, not my pine cone! Don't leave me, Coney! Yeah, these are definitely going to be in the way. Now, I don't want to chop up the stumps, like all of them, but I'm probably going to need to chop up some of the stumps, just because they're also going to be in the way. When you chop up stumps, you get, like, like, wood scrap that you can use for fires. That's basically all that stump wood is good for. Fire goes out in 13 minutes. I think what I'm going to do is just feed it a whole bunch of, This is not efficient, so I will say, pine branches are not an efficient fuel material. Breaking down the pine branches into sticks and pine needles is more efficient, but I don't really care about efficiency, because I just have so much fuel around. I just wanted to keep the fire going, so that I could drink fresh water and keep predators away. Although, this early on in the game, I'm not going to get hit by a bunch of predators. That would be very uncommon. So I might see the occasional coyote, but it's not like they're going to be roaming packs of wolves. Which is something you might deal with later on. So we're almost done with the choppy chops. These smaller trees are obviously a lot easier to cut up. This one's large, but not quite as large as the other ones. The other ones were, like, massive. They honestly should be in a tier of its own. Oh, that one hasn't fallen yet. I'm a little worried that it's, like... Okay, there it goes. I was worried that it was like, you know how some games will calculate damage based upon the time it takes for something to fall? So if it's like hanging in midair like that, it does like accelerated damage upon contact with the ground. I was a little worried that it was going to just like explode and like launch everything in the air. Because I've definitely seen games that do that. That calculate the impact based upon the total fall time rather than the distance or something. And that always makes for like a shocking impact. Yeah, if you touch it, you get, like, yeeted into the sun. Absolutely. treat for Yoda and a treat for me. I dig it. Is this game one life? Sort of. If you die, you load. So I do have a death counter in the top left there. I'm gonna try not to die. I think I can manage it, provided I don't do stupid things or get unlucky. Sometimes you just get unlucky and a grizzly bear is like, haha, you're dead. But like, most of the time that's not the case. Alright, so I want to build here. I'm gonna need to clear the area a bit. With that said, I think the first shelter I want to make is actually not going to be over there. I know, I cleared all the area. Because, I'll explain. Eventually, you get access to a wooden shovel. And a wooden shovel is going to allow you to, like, flatten out areas and make it look real nice. Once you've already moved in, putting, like, boxes and storage and stuff into a place, leveling it later is, like, impossible because you have to move everything and break everything down. So I think what I want to do is I want to set up, like, a very basic hut out here, knowing that I'm going to make a nicer leveled shelter over there. So I'm going to take 4 long sticks and start the shelter over here. So build with, and the long sticks to build a shelter, you want posts. So I'm going to set up some posts. Now this area where I am right now, like, counted as water, so I don't want to build it here, because that would be... it would mess me up. So I will break down this stockpile and set it up like right where the bedroll is. So when setting up the posts, oops, they'll turn green when they're interconnected. So if they're too far away from one another, they're not green anymore. And then this one, I'm going to want... I'm going to have to move my bedroll. It's hard to get, like, right angles. One of the tricks to get right angles is to use a stockpile. To put a stockpile, so like I'll demo that. Here, if you're OCD, this game's gonna bother you in a lot of ways that, well, you know, it just will. But to start a stockpile, so if I start a stockpile like right here, I can align the posts with the stockpile to try to get closer right angles. Me, personally, I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me that things aren't, like, perfectly square, because you're in the wilderness. Like, you don't need to be that careful. But, whatever. So, line it up. There we go. Man, there's so many deer everywhere. And then here, we want both of the posts to be green. And there it is. So now, I've got 4 posts around me. And the next step is to put support beams in. So support beams are beams between each post. Like that. And these are also going to require rope. So 2 rope per, 8 rope total. Put these sticks away. And take 8 rope. And I'm also, if you're wondering, kind of following the tutorial on the bottom right, because it wants me to build a basic shelter too. So this is fulfilling both. Oh, this one doesn't have a long stick. I'll do that in a second. There we go. Alright, next is rafters. I think before I actually I'm going to change my mind about how I want to build this. And I'm sorry to waste your time, but in thinking a little harder, and you do get the material back, so it's not a big deal. And thinking about what would suit me best, I want to... Actually, you know what? No, it's fine. So I'll explain the situation. Your basic campfire will fit under these lower posts. You do eventually get access to a smoker, which allows you to smoke jerky to preserve it longer. But the smoker requires a higher posts because it won't fit under a low roof. But by the time I have a smoker, by the time I want to use a smoker, I will have the real base built. So that's why I relented and changed my mind. So the next thing we want is stick rafters. So that's long sticks and rope again. So I'm going to grab all of my rope because it's going to exhaust my rope. And put stick rafters on. So I need to collect some more dogbane in order for the plant ropes. I see the deer. I don't care. I don't have a need for food. And as you literally the macro I just posted, I work on the priority. So if it's not a priority, I don't work on it. And I'm building shelter right now, so shelter is what I work on. They are majestic though. And while I'm on here, I might as well check the traps, although I suspect the traps are empty, yeah. I just don't think that there's like rabbits that hop around this part of the forest all that frequently. So let's collect some dogbane. Am I building camp for myself? Yes, just for myself. This game is multiplayer. You can do co-op. But I'm not playing co-op, so I'm only building for myself. While I'm out here, might as well collect some blueberries too. Good source of food. Do trees grow back? I think so, very slowly, but there's... With that said, like, I am in a black forest here. Like, I'm not gonna run out of trees. But if you're out in an open plain or like a rocky crag, because there's almost no trees in the rocky crag biome, yeah, you're gonna run out. Hey, boar. Don't eat my rabbits. One nice thing about where I chose to build is it's going to be really easy to spot my house from a distance. Just because it's out on the peninsula, it's going to be very visible. So finding my way home is going to be a cinch. Unless I'm in like thick forest. Yeah, eventually the boar will get its comeuppance. Exactly. Alright, so there's the stick rafters. And a crow just dropped a letter off at my campfire. I'll check that out in a second. So the last part is a leaf roof and stick wattle walls. So a leaf roof is plant rope and pine branches. And this is why you need so much dogbane. There we go. And then a wattle wall. So if we go to walls, there is a half height wattle wall and a full height wattle wall. I want the full height wattle wall. But I'm only going to make one wattle wall because I'm, that's fun to say. Because I really only want to do it for the tutorial. I don't really intend to fully enclose my starting spot. with walls. Because I don't care. I just want the tutorial progress to register. There we go. There's the water wall. Oh, hi, Coyote. Did you bring me a rabbit? Thank you, dude. What a kind coyote. Worried about my malnutrition. What a bruh. I feel bad doing this, but I also don't want coyotes in my backyard. So I'm butchering the rabbit. I don't really want the animal intestines. That you could do to make out of like sausage, but I don't want sausage. So I'm gonna use yeah, let's just cook the rabbit meat because that's what the tutorial calls for. All right, where is that coyote? You left, didn't you? You knew I was crafting spears. You're wily, aren't you? Oh, there you are. You're not that wily. Oh, geez, you're way closer. Come on, bro. You're dead. I'm a little hurt, but not that hurt. You want some? That's what I thought. I might not be able to hit rabbits because they're tiny, but you ain't so tiny. Okay. He's left me alone, so I'm going to leave him alone. It's a mutual truce. Hey, coyote. Let's take your meat, your leather, and your fat. The combat definitely gets some getting used to, for sure. Have I had any crashes so far? I don't think in the, like... however many hours I have in this game that I've crashed once. It's not to say your hardware and your computer will behave differently. I just personally have not crashed. So here is my lovely rabbit meat. Time to eat. And then I'll cook up the coyote too. Alright, before I do anything else, let's read this letter. We have seen your smoke from afar. We'll meet in 2 days. Spooky. So, what to work on next? I could work on a journal task. Currently, my journal task is to collect mud for basic metalworking, to craft a clay bowl and harden it in a mud brick kiln. I could continue working on the shelter. I could improve food and medicine supply. I could work on weapons and tool crafting, or go exploring. Leave it up to you. I think what I want to do, no matter what I do, is make... Let's see. A stick crate. Because I have a lot of stuff that I don't want to carry around with me all the time. And I'll put the stick crate under the roof. It wouldn't be a terrible idea for me to eventually move firewood under the roof, as well as some tinder and kindling. so that I won't be in a situation where I can't like keep a fire going in rain. So, I'm looking for some more dogbane for a chest. And in 1 minute, I will call this pole. Oh, Jesus. 2 coyotes. That's a turnaround time. Fighting outnumbered. Bad idea. Where'd my other spear go? Should be around here somewhere. There it is. So, weapon and tool crafting. Looks to be the popular choice. Oh, there's another coyote. So they'll growl at you when you get too close. If you just back off, they'll leave you alone. And I don't really need to kill more coyote at the moment. So I'm going to leave them be. Yeah. All growl, all bark, no bite. I'm wearing my brown pants. Yep. Actually, my pants are more like blue. This is a lovely lake that I live on. I like it. It's my home. It's also cool that I can spot the fire from so far off. Makes navigating a lot easier. So, we are... build a mud brick kiln. That is my current goal. You guys want a weapon and tool crafting? Mud brick kiln is the first step towards it. Thank you for tuning in to The Last Plague Blight, which will really stream live on Twitch October 19th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that I'm trying to avoid spoilers to not ruin this game for others. So if you could avoid spoilers, that would be great. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Blight survivors.